Hello everybody. In today's video, what we are going to be doing, a deck tech for Karn Silver Golem. Right? Karn Silver Golem is an amazing commander, but before we start today's video, I'm gonna ask you to A, subscribe and like, and B, if it would be so appreciated if you guys could go into the description and wishlist my game on Steam. It's called United Disturbance, and it would truly help me out. And let's get to the video. So today, our commander is a 5-drop card that essentially, I'll just make it short and sweet. The commander, whenever it attacks or blocks becomes 0/8, you can pay 1 generic, turn an artifact to an artifact creature, with power and toughness being its CMC. Cool. So my whole purpose of this deck is to build a colorless deck with no Eldrazi's, right? And I know there's another creator who made a deck earlier this month with this commander. This has been in works for me for a while, and we don't do the same win con. So today we're going to be talking about, this is a combo deck, a very good combo deck. It is about $785. That's my version of the deck, which I do have some full arts. You can make it cheaper. How much cheaper? That's debatable. So let me get it off with what lands you're going to be running. You could technically make this whole deck work with just wastes. I wanted to spice mine up, and I put it in Barry's Land. It's not technically legal in the format, but I see this as a waste, and I see this as a fun card to have. You don't have to run it, but that's what I'm running. Cool. This, pay 5 mana, draw a card if you have the City's Blessing. If you have 10 more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. Not bad. So this is going to be a key piece in our combo. We'll come back to this later. Calling Barons, pay 4 plus 2 +1/+1s on Calling Barons. Then you may have come as a 0/0 elemental. That's in turn. Indestructible 1 mana. Tap for 1 mana, return it to the battlefield if you play. Spend 3 mana. Ghost Quarter Engine, you have a little bit of land destruction. Okay, and as the battlefield, return target land you control to owner's hand. Not bad, not bad. There's some we can get some nice interactions with. This one's pretty good at the beginning of your Adventure Fair. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. So you're gaining life. It's amazing. Get a colorless, sacrifice Adventure Fair, search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, then put it into your hand and shuffle your library. Ratios Factory, pay 1, it becomes a 2/2 creature. Tap target assembly worker, it gets a +1/+1 until the end of turn. Petrified Field, add 1 colorless mana, sacrifice or return target land card from the graveyard to your hand. Tap for colorless. Activate this ability, only have no cards in hand, and you draw a card. Strip Mine. If you want to be targeted in the table, you're in Strip Mine. Taps are colorless, and you can destroy target land. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Versus Factory. Actually, these aren't the correct. Yes, that's sorry, I was thinking of something else. Sorry. Pay 7. Create 2 colors assembly. It's kind of bad, but Continue. Urza's Mine. Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Tower. Yeah, if you control all 3 of these, you essentially create 9 mana from this one 7 mana. This one taps to 3, this one taps for 2, this one taps to 2 if you control all 3 of the Urza's. Mine, Power Plant, and Tower. And Zyphlin Void, when it enters the battlefield, you get scry 1. Pretty basic. Okay, so let's talk about the combo of the deck. Let's get to the meat of this deck, right? So essentially is all could be based around. Where is it? We have to literally scour through the deck. Here's what the card's built around. Ugin's Nexus. If a player were to take an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. If Ugin's Nexus would be put into the graveyard, instead exile it and take an extra turn. You'd be like, geez, how can we combo with this? Okay, so we're going to be running Time Sifter. So essentially, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, yep, each player's upkeep, everyone's going to be exiling the top card of their library. Whoever's the highest will take an extra turn after this one. You might be like, that's kind of counterintuitive because you can kind of what's the word? This cancel out. Yes, but this is how we're going to be achieving that. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be running. Give me a second, guys. I'll find it. I'll find the combo piece. I'll find the combo piece. Give me a second. Might be on the side. Where is it? It's definitely in here. That is a component, but we don't all want that. I am sorry. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I promise. Possess Portal. If a player would draw a card, that player skips a draw step instead. At the end of each turn, each player sacrifices a permanent unless he or she discards a card as their hand. Right? So essentially, what we're doing is we're going to be sacrificing Ugin's Nexus, right? So we'll be taking an extra turn after that. So why are we running Time Sifter? So we could. The plan is get people to mill the cards. I mean, it doesn't have to. Technically, we can do this thing without Time Sifter, but it also forces our opponents not to be able to take extra turns, which is value I want. So since we have that card to do that, you're like, oh, we gotta get it back. Well, I'll tell you. Karn the Great Creator. Right. So essentially, what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be using the -2 effect, which you can choose an artifact card you control from outside the game or in exile, reveal that card, and put it into your hand. So you're gonna keep taking these extra turns. Because at the end of your turn, you're gonna keep sacrificing. You have to spend the mana to play it each turn. The only issue that you're gonna be having is getting the counters on that, which it's going to be very limited. It is going to be like at max, you'll be able to do it 6 turns, which is kind of bad. But just wait. You don't technically need to do that because what you're going to be doing by that time, you should be able to get this whole combo out. So while you're taking these extra turns, you're going to be getting Microsynth, right? Microsynth. All permanents are artifacts in addition to other types. All cards aren't played. All card play spells are colorless. Players may spend mana as though with mana of any color. So you're like, so why is this important? So if we go back to the Great Creator, activated abilities of artifacts your opponent's control can't be activated. Therefore, if you're having this combo, you are basically locking down the game. And what you're gonna want to do is you can keep exiling stuff. It's pretty basic. When you're doing that, You also could be running. Where is it? Well, this one last card, which is a decent card, but considering you have Microsense Lattice, this will be good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we're doing it this way. It's gonna take a hot second to find it in this 100 card list of all artifacts. Mostly because I forget the name. Here it is. Receive portal, right? So what this portal does? Oh my man. Cool. So what this portal does, at the beginning of your upkeep, starting with you, each player votes Carnage or Homage. If Carnage gets most of those sacrifices, destroy all non-land permanents. If Homage gets most votes, draw a card. Right. The reason why we're running this is like, okay, so we're just making a board wipe. The whole table can go against you, yes? But actually, no, because we're going to be running Darksteel Forge. All artifacts we control have indestructible. So we cannot, our stuff can't be destroyed. So essentially, we're making our opponent's stuff useless and all of our stuff indestructible. That includes our commander. Now let's talk about everything around in a deck. Karn Liberated, we get some removal. We move cards from our opponent's hands. Life is good. Karn, scoring of shoot, hold up. Can't talk today. Okay, so reveal the top 2 cards of your library. Your opponent chooses one of them, puts that in your hand, and the other one's exiled. Put a card with this so account, which is the one your opponent exiled, into your hand, and create a 0/0 construct token. Creature with this creature is +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Pretty dangerous artifacts. Mind you, this key component is very useful when we can't draw cards, because technically we can still draw cards. It would just be a very bad way of getting cards. Ugin spells. You cast cards 2 less, basically creating a spirit and be able to destroy permanents. So we still get that card draw during that limited time we have an extra turn for. Let's see. Basically, you will deal a whole bunch of damage, deal 3 damage to a creature or player. It's a board wipe for colorless. So unless it's someone else is doing, non-colorless. So we can pretty much plop this down, pay 7. Anything that has 7 or more mana cost gets wiped on the board. We could do the -10. Pretty nifty. Artifact creature gets +1. Pretty nifty. If you need to do it. Artifacts cost 1 less. So far, we are 3 cheaper to cast our spells. Metalwork. So essentially what this card does, it's cheaper for each artifact CMC you control. Okay. I just have Mana Dork that taps for 2 colorless. Some Synchro. Basically, we're getting a basic land. When it dies, draw a card. Pretty sweet. Steel Overseer taps, put a +1/+1 on creatures you control. Now, the one ruling I have not done is that if 1/1 counters stay when it goes from being from a creature back to its artifact point. I am not sure on that. At the beginning of your end step, untap target artifact. Pretty nifty, I must say. Okay, for Flux, this is another win con. You're going to be playing a whole bunch of spells, so you could be gaining a whole bunch of life. It's pretty self-explanatory. Deal 50 damage to a player and just start knocking them off. It works. So this is good for when someone's doing removal with your stuff. You can easily just look at the cards of your top 6 cards of your library, may cast a card among them without paying the mana cost. Put the rest in your library in any order. Like, it's pretty good. Okay, Akuma is Memorial, basically, all creatures have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from black and red. That's amazing. Aladdin's Lamp, which is kind of a bad card, but in this deck is amazing. So you pay X. Well, first off, to pay 10 to cast it. You pay X, and instead of drawing that many cards, it's worded weirdly. This one, draw X cards. Choose only one of them to put into your hand, and shuffle the leftover cards. Shoot. X can't be 0, man. Like, this thing is worded awful. Zero's a gate, right? So essentially the backside, whenever you activate this, it gives you mana for each of your life. Of what your life is equal to, right? So flip it. Pretty nifty. But you have to draw. You can pay one to draw a card. Next, draw a card from your hand. 5 or more different converted mana cost was exiled under it. You transform it. Mind you, this is good because we're running Karn the Curator, so we can get these cards back if they're key pieces. Mind you. Cool. Bargaining table. You draw X cards, so X is a number of cards in an opponent's hand. Not bad. Basalt Monolith. We'll get back to this because we can get infinite mana combo. Okay. This is really good for us. It also helps our opponent out a little bit, which some of our stuff has been doing. At the beginning of each player's pre-combat main phase, if Blink Ball of Urn is untapped, that player adds 1 mana to his or her mana pool for each artifact you control. Well, I hate to tell you, but we got a lot of artifacts. Let's see, Cloud Key. You could choose basically choose something else in play. You'd be choosing artifact for me, obviously. Spells that chose type cost 1 less to cast. So currently, we're at 5 less. Oh man. We'll talk about that. A mana rock comes into play tapped, taps from any mana, any color. Crucible Worlds are running Crucible Worlds with Buried Ruin. So we're going to be sacrificing Buried Ruin and bringing back artifacts from our graveyard back into our hand. Because this is an infinite combo. I mean, I'm afraid it's not technically infinite, but you can sacrifice it, play Crucible Worlds, and bring it back. Sacrifice it again, and you're getting 2 land cards from the graveyard back into your hand. Dark Steel Ingot, taps for mana, indestructible, Defense Grid. Now this is where we're doing a little hate. We're making each player, during each player's turn, each other player, keyword other, pays 3 more to play for all their spells. Pretty fire. Doubling Cube. We get to double our mana, boys. That's just good. Elixir Mortality. We're basically shuffling our graveyard into our library and gaining 5 life. Pretty amazing. Forsaken Monument. Alright. So whenever you tap a permanent for a colorless, produce an additional colorless. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. Colorless creatures gets +2/+2. So not only you have infinite mana, but your normal lands, which, I mean, these are technically waste, so fight me. They're going to be choosing 2 instead. Absolutely fire. Okay, Guild Lotus. A 5-gem tap is a pretty good rock. Helm of Awakening. All spells cost 1 generic mana less to play. So this is 7, I believe? No. 6. 6 less to cast each spell. Mind you, we are basically playing a glorified solitaire deck. Howling Mine, we'll have 1 draw a card. Which Lightning Greaves, Shroud and Haste for a commander. Lotus Bloom. Essentially, wait a couple turns, get a whole bunch of counters, sacrifice it for that many counters, equals that much mana. Okay, Mangara's tome. So when it comes into play, search your library for up to 5 cards. Shuffle these cards face down under Mangara's tome. Shuffle your library afterward. If you lose control, Mangara's tome, remove all the cards from the game. Pay 2. Instead of drawing a card, put the top card from under Mangara's tome into your hand. This would be for yeah, so we could keep paying 2 and get all of them. So like it's not great, but it works. Mind Stone, Mind's Eye, Mind Stone, Mana Rock, Mind's Eye. So this is really good. So whenever an opponent draws a card, you pay 1, you draw a card. Getting card advantage. Mana Rock, we could have artifacts, so it's fine. Mystic Forge. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast the top card of your library as an artifact card and or a colorless land. Pay 1 life, exile top card of your library. Our deck is artifacts, so it's pretty fire. Pithing Needle, basically target card name cannot activate abilities. Planar Bridge. This is a doozy. So you spend 6 mana to cast at 8 to just get a permanent from your library and just slap it on the battlefield. Add 1 generic. Add 1 generic. You gain 1 life. You have 3 wishes. Pay 5 to cast it. Pay 5. Just remove a wish counter. You have 3 of them. And what you do is just get a card, put it in your hand. We're basically just trying to get a card. Since the Divining Top, Sisters Ring, just a mana dork. Oh yeah, since the Divining Top, I might want to add just for you guys if you don't know. You want to look at the top 3 cards of your library, put them back in any order, tap it, draw a card, put Since the Divining Top on top of owner's library. This one's kind of mid. Pay 4 and tap. Discard your hand. Draw a card for each creature you. I might want to go to that. It's a bit bad. Probably do, but it's. Well, that's it for now. We have some creatures. We'll have 8 of them. Possible. The Smuggler's Copter. Best part with Karn, you can just pay for it to become a creature, and it's already a 3/3. Because of its thing, well, it would be a 2. It would be a 2/2, sorry. But with flying, its ability would still trigger. Soul Ring, pretty common. Staff of Nin. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card. Staff of Nin does 1 damage to a creature or player. We're getting card draw. Stone Calendar. Okay. Your spells go up to 1 less in casting cost. Spells cannot go below 0. So we have 7. Our cards are 7 cards cheaper. Amazing. Okay, at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate. Sacrifice 3 clue tokens. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand. Shuffle your library. It's amazing. Imperial Sun. Now, the thing about this, we cannot get off our combo with this card, but we are able to turn it into a creature and bait someone into killing this. I add. So players can't activate Planeswalkers' loyalty abilities at the beginning of your draw step. Draw an additional card. Spells you cast cost 1 less, so that'll be 8. Creatures you control get +1/+1. So this would be a 7/7. People are going to try to block it. I am sure of it. Thought Vessel, no maximum hand size, which is good for us. And colorless. The Mana Rock taps for 3. A Tomb of Legends. When there's a battlefield with a page count on it, whenever your commander enters the battlefield or attacks, put a page counter on it. So, I mean, we can attack with 0/8. I really don't think they're gonna do much about it. Move a page counter and draw a card. Untap Turket Artifact. Pretty nifty. Well, Lost Streams. Whenever you gain life, you may pay X, where X is less than or equal to the amount of life you gained. If you do, draw X cards. And this is just a bad mana rock. Taps for 2 colorless mana. Play this as a mana source. So with that, this deck is just a glorified solitaire deck. It's pretty good if you want. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think you'll become a big target at. I think your threat level will probably go unnoticed because you're just gonna be playing a lot of stuff, but nothing of like scary value. With that, I mean, your win conditions are obviously try to take as many turns as you can. Take these creatures, and yes, do combat damage, but getting that infinite turn combo, from an infinite turn, I mean, it will last probably like 3 turns, so you might want to be careful for that. I mean, technically speaking, once when it dies, you could just kind of shuffle your library and do it again. I know it's a whole process. It is literally a whole process. Because let me see, elixir of immortality. Elixir of immortality in your graveyard into the yes. Because with all these fine cards, you'll be able to get. It's too hard to get 2 cards from in there into your hand when you're set up. So yeah, you can most definitely do it. You can take as almost infinite turns and just try to keep whacking people in the head with these dumb expensive cards. And if not, I mean, by expensive I mean high mana cast. I mean, at the end of the day, because as long as you have this, your creatures probably aren't gonna die. I mean, if they have Vigilance, First Strike, Trample, Haste, Flying, Attack from Black, you're gonna kill your opponent, most likely. And with that, I would say thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please subscribe, and please check out my game in the description. If you wish list it, that helps me out enough, please. With that, see you guys next video.